Though with new COVID cases on the rise in the city and the state, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell is issuing a strong warning. She says more people need to follow the reopening and social distancing restrictions, or the city will revert back to stricter rules. And as Paul Murphy reports, the city is now forming a task force to go after people and businesses that are not following the guidelines.
In the past 7 days, Louisiana has averaged more new cases since the height of the coronavirus outbreak in mid-April. The greater New Orleans region is experiencing slightly better trends than other regions of the state. As of Wednesday, the city had more than 1,700 confirmed cases of the virus, with 529 deaths. Mayor LaToya Cantrell said the current upward trajectory is cause for concern.
But if the city has to shut down, we will do that without any hesitation at all, because the public health of our people will always be top priority.
The mayor's warning comes at a time when the state has identified new clusters of COVID cases related to graduation parties in New Orleans and bars near LSU in Baton Rouge. City Health Director Dr. Jennifer Avegno said the virus is now infecting a greater number of young people.
50% of cases, new cases, recent cases, were among people younger than age 30. 10% were kids 18 and younger. This is a huge shift in what we've been seeing.
The city is now cracking down on large gatherings where few people wear masks and physical distancing rules and gathering size limits are not followed. Public health officials call them super spreader events where there is a high risk of infection. A new task force made up of members of the NOPD, City Code Enforcement, Department of Health, Alcohol Tobacco Control, State Fire Marshal's Office, and other agencies will now respond to large gathering complaints and go after violators.
And we, the New Orleans Police Department, would not allow this to occur. We will shut it down and we will hold those accountable.
Once again, the mayor and others encouraged everyone to wear face coverings, to stay 6 feet apart, and to avoid large, uncontrolled gatherings. At New Orleans City Hall, Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
Both the mayor and Dr. Avegno say no COVID clusters have been linked to any of the recent protests.